Hi everyone. Today we are talking about BIMBO, and my group is conformed by Laura Chávez, Ximena Benítez, Manuel Bello, Jeisson Preciado, and me, Nicole Cortés. So these are table of contents, and the first is internal and external diagnostic. Second is a PEST Spain. Third is PEST Mexico. Four is PEST Brazil. Five is PEST China, and the final is conclusions. So, first is internal and external diagnostic. So we already start to say that Bimbo is the world's largest bakery company and leading snake player. It has more than 100 brands and have 206 bakeries and other factories. Um, have more than 1,600 sales center strategically located in 33 countries in America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its main product line include box bread, toast bread, sweet bread, cookies, muffins, bagels, tortillas, flatbread, salty snack, and others. So, Bimbo Group manufactures more than 10,000 products and it has one of the largest distribution networks in the world with more than 3 million points of sales, more than 54,000 routes, and more than 137,000 employees. It's traded listen to the Mexican stock exchange. So next is the philosophy. They want to be a sustainable, highly productive, and fully human enterprise. And their mission is delicious and nutritious food in everyone's hands. So, in a purpose is we need to a better world, and the belief is we value the individual, we are a community, we are shared the soul, we are effective operators, we trust in and endure, we act with integrity, we compete and win. This is general information. So, in organizational structure, a BIMBO has a flat organizational structure. When the CEO now is Daniel Javier Servich Montuy, and the company has different departments or areas such as finance, marketing, productions, and others. And each area have the presidents and the secretaries and the audit and compliance practice committee, performance evaluation committee, and they have the opportunity to take the decisions in different terms. When this is very important, they can take the decisions. This is very easy to the opportunity to be more efficient. Okay, in global market shares, um, Bimbo has on the bakery global have a 4.0% global market share in the bakery industry. Um, this is a which is a huge opportunity for future growth. If we want to see value of the world bakery industry, this is a 532 billion. So this is a very big impact. In development, the company is interested in developing new tools and allow the process to be more efficient, consume less, and be environmental friendly. So in other process, the company has designed process to support the social area or of the region in which it operates, environmental projects, and business programs. Okay, in financial status in this picture, you can see the growth of the 2011 and 2021. And Bimbo had a growth of 10.1%, from 2011 to 2021. So here in financial status, uh, for two, for 2021, the gross profit was 3.9%. In operating income was the 34.3%, and what was 49,000 49,118, and the growth in percent was the 8.8%. And the net sales in 2020 was the 300 331,051, and the net sales in 2021 was the 348,887. So this in analysis we did in the different papers around the financial status. We evidence or we identify the investment that the company has made reflect the financial muscle it has and see capacity of its leverage. This is it's a very big company, and the financial status it's enough to support the company. So we do a further. We find street. The first is global presence. BIMBO have different factories and center sales in 33 countries. So this is very important. Product quality is the second. The third, we have operational efficiency. We find a strong financial positions and high brand value. In a weakness, we choose and we find slowdown in production volume, perishable products, and weak organizational culture. So, in opportunities, it's growth of demand. The second is participation in others markets. The third is new technology, and the process to e-commerce. The third, they have a healthy project. The second is that they can do direct and indirect deficiencies, shortage of skilled labor, and economic instability. So this is all for me.
Hi, I'm going talking about of Mexico pesto in the first part, political. The most important, there are Mexico has a fairly up, able, stable economic, which has allowed BIMBO to adapt and strengthen itself in an intelligent way, and the other federal labor law according to Article 3 uh, Telecan beneficiary for this is beneficiary BIMBO because it's a free trade with Mexico, Canada, and United States. Mexico has a network of 12 free trade agreements and the world economic. The most important for BIMBO is economic stability, employment regulation, a market cycle, and the other is specific taxes on products and service, and his benefits benefit BIMBO because it's a priority food. and employment rate is 3.2% in the part sociocultural, and the most important is Bimbo has a 98.8% presence in Mexican households, and the other parts, 78, reside in the urban sector. Bimbo has an objective of improving the quality of the life of employees and customers. And the part technological, the most important is the cheaper and cleaner energy for Bimbo and development of a new technological advance um, for Mexico, and um, the part ecological. Bimbo promotes sustainable development, and this is very important, and the cleaner technologies for electricity and generation and public transportation, sustainable water management for his products, and the zero deforestation rate, and the part legal, effective customer regulation and more faster free trades, and more faster his process for create and promote one company. Okay, in the part DOFA in Mexico and Bimbo, the opportunities is a free trade agreements, law for taxes and witness rivalry and political parts, trades law, approval of laws, and the strength is the federal economic competition law. And then finally, Bimbo has a great government alliance in Mexico, and Bimbo has a per class distribution network to satisfy the consumer in Mexico. And the most important, Bimbo was not only great to enrich, it was great to provide a quality products and fresh products to Mexican. According to the PEST, Bimbo, you will stay in Mexico or strengthen your economic.
Now we're gonna talk about the Brazil Pastel. First, we're gonna see an introduction of Bimbo in Brazil. In 2001, Bimbo arrived to Brazil. Bimbo both Plus Vita. Plus Vita was one of the greatest bakery companies in Brazil. They have the 21% of the market of the bakery market in Brazil. Then Bimbo decided to buy both some actions of Pullman, and in 2008, Bimbo also buy Bakery Nutrela. The principal segments in Brazil are industrial breads and sweets, light breads, cakes, and snacks. Now we're going to talk about the Brazil Pastel analysis. First, we have the political facts. In Brazil, the politicals are trying to improve the financing of economic freedom and allow the companies to have more free in the financial sector. Another aspect is that the budget deficit and public debt reduced. That means that the debt is possible to reduce because Brazil is paying the public debt. Corruption remains a problem. This is a disadvantage of Brazil, is that the corruption is a lot, so this can represent problems. And the last one is upcoming elections could bring instability because the change of a president can create different uncertain things. In the economical aspects, we have that weak currency to box experts, economic to outperform regional average, and short-term inflation raises. So all these facts, it's important to analyze when Bimbo in Brazil. The sociocultural, we have in first that Latin American largest consumer market. Brazil is the biggest country in Latin America and also have the most population in Latin America. So this is an important factor. Another one is rapid urbanization, and again is a key trend. In the technological aspect, we have that mobile mass market, technological advances to increase digital inclusion, and 5G development against pace. In the ecological aspect, we have increasing scarcity of raw materials, implementation of population targets to do business as ethical and sustainable company, and the increasing number of green consumers. And in the legal aspect, we have the commercial registration tax registrations, state districts, federal and municipal taxes, and labor regiment, invest and incentive. So what are the conclusions with all this special analysis? First is that BIMBO make a really good strategy when he arrived to Brazil, because then they don't arrive like a new brand. They decide to buy another brands, and in that way they will be able to grow with a base. So they bought another brands with a really long trajectory of the market, and so this was one of the best decisions that BIMBO could take, to don't arrive and start from zero. They start with a really good base and with a really good market, because remember that Puma have the 21% bakery market. So BIMBO make a really strategic alliances or both with another brands. Another conclusion is effective market research. BIMBO made a really good market research. They know the customers. They know why they like to the Brazilian people. Why what was the favorite baker in Brazil. So they use all these researchers, all these things that they know about the consumers to make their products in a really good way and to make a really successful brand in Brazil. The other conclusion that we can get to is the global trends. They adapt to the green consumers. The green consumers now are one of the most important consumers in our society. So they have different business lines of green consumers, and they are really worried about the environment, and they think how to offer this to the customers. And the last one is technological opportunities. They see disadvantage of the country and also implement different technological advances that Brazil already have in the country, and they apply this opportunity to BIMBO. So it's important to say, just to finish this part, that Brazil take really good BIMBO take really good decisions to get into the Brazilian market, and now we see the results because they have a really great market search in Brazil, and they have a really good model. So it was an effective business model that BIMBO make here in Brazil.
Okay, good night. I'm going to tell about of BIMBO in Spain. First of all, we have the political aspect that will focus on the current government system. As you well know, Spain is a parliamentary monarchy, but the next year is preparing for the next elections in the end of 2023. In this moment, Spain is divided because some want have a person that support the right side or the left side. So we need to wait what happen in the next year in the end of 2023. This is the political aspect in general. But I want to mention the food policies that are managed within the country. There is a free trade agreement or FTA, but they must comply with a European regulation of caring for the environment. One of these regulation is the European Green Pact, that where makes knows the rules the food must comply with to circulate the food not only in Spain, also in the other European countries. European Union countries. Continuing in the social cultural part, Spain has a number of inhabitants similar to Colombia, a country that, like of the rest of European countries, seeks the healthy products, which has gone through a clean production process and have a good benefits, a good benefits for the health of these European people. So the solution is, not the solution. BIMBO has a line of products for this market, has a healthy line of products for this market. One of them is the bread. Not only the white bread, BIMBO has a lot of healthy bread. Also, according to Numbeo, the cost of living in Spain is low if we have a good salary. The salary in Spain in this moment is 1,169 euros, but given the situation that the world is experimenting in this moment, is not the best. Not only with the recuperation of COVID-19 or the possible recession, is something most important is the war in the east of Spain. The war is between, the Ukraine and Russia. So this war is the increase in the price of the heating or the calefacción for this winter in this country. In the other hand, we have the technology side. Spain is implementing a plan called Digital Spain Agenda 2025. So Spain seeks to implement the digitalization of every company in Spain. Also implements an office that guarantees the good use or the proper use of data or the information, if the same, and projects focus on data. Just implement or improve the technology in this area, the data. Last but not least, we have the economic aspect. Spain presents a 7.3% in the consumer price index. There is a 12% of unemployment. The tax of the food, in this case of the bread, is the 10% of BTA, is like the IVA here in Colombia. And the next year is possible that the economy in Spain will drop to 1.1%. This is the reason is basically the recuperation of the COVID-19, the possible recession, and again, like I said, as I said before, the war in between between Ukraine and Russia. So this is the basically PEST in this country. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. I wanted to say something about BIMBO in China. So, BIMBO arrived in this country in 2006 with the acquisition of Painco, and in 2010 they consolidate as the largest bread and derivatives company in the world and in the country because of the access to several factories and enterprises. And this increased in 2018 with the incorporation in the Manhattan Group. And in the PET's analysis of China, first of all, we have the economic freedom was considerably reduced compared to the previous year to rank 158 worldwide. On the other hand, there are the rules to control the overpopulation that exists in the country, since if there are still rights in the country could run out of resources. And finally, we have the notable violation of the human rights in the country, and since the government ignores the demands made by the citizens in the country, and in the other hand, speaking of the economy, and in the first place, we find the monetary policy has been favorable in late in 2021, that the People's Bank of China, PBOC, cut its implicit rate from the 3.85% to 3.8%, followed by the further cuts to 2.85% by March in 2022 to reinforcing the slowdown in the economy. On the other hand, the Chinese economy is expected to lose growth momentum during the 2022 amid lagging recovery in private consumption, a looming crisis in the real estate sector, and restrictions imposed to the control spreads on the Omicron variant, COVID-19, and the country continued to follow a zero COVID-19 policy. In the social environment, we find that there is a huge middle class representing more than half of the population, expecting that throughout 2022 to 2040, the number of middle class households in China will spend in 146 billion by the end of this year period, and which make the largest middle class consumer segment in the world. On the other hand, we find that there is a worsening of health indicators. In fact, the prevalence of diabetes is expected to increase from the 9.5% of the population between age of 20s and 79 in 2021 to 10.7% in 2040. And finally, in the technological environment, there is a strategy implemented for the development of ECT in a 5-year plan, 2021 to 2025. China has assigned that added value of the information and communication technology ECT sector will represent the 10% of the GDP by the end of this period. And they're also thinking about digitalizing 100% of their currency. And this is like the best analysis of the country. And finally, I have to say that if the country continue like that and continue do the same things, they don't have any problem to like be the best the largest brand in bread brand in this country. So the brand do the things very well in this country, and I don't have any like conception of that because of the brand do all the things very well in this country. And this is all. Thank you for your attention. And here we have the bibliography of the word. And thank you.